According to the Charity Commission's website, there's about 160,000 registered charities in England and Wales, with an annual turnover in excess of £52 billion. Of course, in these times of austerity, sadly, charities are usually the first to cop it in terms of diminishing their funds. And I have to say I'm a little bit guilty of that myself. We used to be members of the National Trust and the RSPB, and I suppose, like a lot of charities, you expect to get a little bit of something back, and we certainly made the best use of our membership on those fine establishments. We were out quite frequently, roaming this wonderful country of ours, and certainly being members, it was a damn sight cheaper than having to pay on the door, so to speak. But sadly, I think the costs, certainly as far as National Trust was concerned, got to about £70 a year for joint membership, and it was far too much, certainly since I lost my previous job, so things are a little bit tight. I'm still a member of the Cats Protection. It always makes me smile when they changed their name from the Cats Protection League, which sounds like a gang of feline superheroes to me, but whether that's the reason they changed the name or not, I don't know. But I'm still sending them a fiver each month. It's kind of ironic, really, that when I was growing up, outside the local greengrocers and the local butcher shop, there would be these large collection boxes outside. There was one with a little girl with her legs strapped in this horrendous caliper. I think it was the what was then known as the Spastic Society, and similarly there was a big Labrador dog with a slot in its head that you can drop your money into, which was the guide dogs for the blind. I remember at the time when I was a kid, I often wondered what girl guides wanted with blind dogs, but there you go. You do tend to grow up and learn a few more things, don't you? But it's ironic nowadays that those same shops are themselves charity shops, and it makes you wonder how long it'll be before little stalls start opening up outside said shops with people selling greengrocery and hardware. You never know. It's strange how the world changes, isn't it? But certainly with charitable donations, you know, I was more than happy years back. You'd be walking down the street and somebody had come towards you rattling a little collection tin. So I'd be more than happy to rummage in my pocket for any loose change I'd had and pop it in there. But nowadays, of course, we have this wonderful breed, which I believe are called chuggers, or charity muggers. And certainly in my case, it's usually a pretty young thing who's exceptionally and somewhat scarily happy will come bouncing towards you with a face full of glee and light, and after joyous introductions will then demand your bank account details. Well, I'm sorry, I ain't got bloody time for that. I'll quite happily give you a quid if it's something I believe in, but no, you're not getting my bank account. And of course these buggers have started knocking on your front door now, so there's no escaping them really. But no, I think there's choices are out there, so you know, you get online and you give as and when you can, which sadly is not very often nowadays. But I appreciate it's not a new thing, but it's a thing which seems to be getting more and more prevalent again, perhaps because of the austerity of the times, and that's these buggers. I appreciate it's hardly a new concept, but whether it's due to these austere times, we just seem to be getting inundated with these plastic bags every bloody day. Just to give you an idea, there you go. You don't call me a collector for nothing. This is probably 2 or 3 weeks worth. So what we got? We're looking for bedding, curtains, handbags, belts, paired shoes, clothes. That's for AIDS, help shelter, same sort of thing. Macmillan Cancer, same again. Lifeboats were sort of equidistant here between the North Sea and the Irish Sea, probably 40 miles in each direction, and yet the lifeboat people have still tracked us down. Leaflet this time round. Air ambulance. Could fold that up and make a paper plane out of it. NSPCC, NSPCC, NSPCC. You'd have thought the fact they didn't get the first one off us would stop them bringing others. PDSA. I'd happily walk into their shops and buy something, I really would. But you know, in terms of bags, 1, 2, 3, 4. The problem is with these things is, okay, you might fill them up with the junk if you've got any to give, but how the hell are you going to know whether the guys that come and collect the bags the next morning are actually the guys to whom you were thinking you were going to donate the stuff to in the first instance? And indeed, how do you know what happens to any money that they perhaps make on this stuff? I'm sure there must be a hell of a lot of administrative costs involved in these things. It's crazy. Another breast cancer. I'm more than happy to support 2 of my favourite things in life. But again, any old junk, any old junk. Interestingly, the other day we had the rag and bone man come round, and not had that for years. We used to get the cry when we were kids of rag bone, and you used to be able to bomb out with all your junk, and usually got a balloon or a goldfish or a lollipop. But I don't know what they're giving away now, but it seems to be Eastern Europeans now driving a van with Chaz and Dave blaring out the back of it, any old dying, any old dying, any old dying. It's enough to stop you donating, to be honest. There we go. British Heart Foundation, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Heart Foundation, they've got a cracking Heart Foundation shop in our local town, and I'm more than happy to give them a little bit, because sadly I lost my dad through heart problems. So it's a good cause, but if I'm giving you money, I want a cheap little book or a CD off you. Is that too much to ask for? Red Cross, Red Cross, Red Cross, Red Cross. How much does it cost these charities to produce all these bags? Clothing collection. The relief of sick and disabled UK children. Never heard of that one before. Kidney research. Man care. No idea what they're about. For people less fortunate and less happy than you are. Oh, Sri Lanka. Yeah, got one of them. And another one. Little Treasures Children's Trust. Little Treasures Children's Trust. So much bloody plastic. You know, I think it was it George Carlin did that great video saying that the only reason humans exist is that the planet needs plastic. But the only reason we hang on to these is that they make bloody good bin liners. We very rarely donate. I'll pop to the charity shop, or I'll get online if I'm feeling in the need to partake of any of my ill-gotten gains. Going back to the George Carlin story, when the shit hits the fan, that could be handy as a bivouac, so I'll keep that. Emergency shelter. And as for the lifeboats, well, all this plastic that's going around the world. There's an island in the middle of the Pacific that's apparently twice as big as Texas, and it's just basically made out of all the plastic shite that us humans have been dumping left, right and centre around the globe. So I reckon, charities, if you carry on at this rate, you won't need bloody lifeboats, because you'll be able to walk from continent to continent across bridges of plastic. There'll be no more seas left.